So we can start. So nobody's doing any introductions or anything like that. So I will do it by myself. So I'm Janne Tekström. I work at Cisco. I'm a chief technologist for Finland and Baltics. And I think the first thing that we need to do now is you have the feedback forms in front of you. We need to fill them first. You know, I don't know what's the reason, but I'm the last presenter. So it needs to be that I've been getting so bad grades that they've been putting me actually as the last one. And the next year after that one that I'm coming back again here, I want to have, you know, first or second spot. So let's see those forms to be filled. Nobody's doing anything. So last but not least. Anyway, hey, we have 35 minutes of time. I have a lot of things to discuss. I think the messaging, and I've been seeing a lot of other vendors' presentation also. The question is not today when the breach will happen, but it will happen. The question is how fast you can react on that one. And I think that's one of my major messages today during my presentation. The second one is I'm a full believer to the automation. And I think as of today, we are doing too much manual labor, especially on IT infrastructure, and especially on the security side. So let's start rocking. Questions, you know, in a Finnish audience, you know, always when you're asking questions, nobody's actually answering to you. So can someone tell me which of these three devices is a company device? Which of these is somebody's personal device? I don't care if it's a BYOD device or just a personal device. And which of these three devices is stolen? I don't know. I have no clues which of these devices are which. And that's one of the challenges that you will be seeing more and more in the future. The second one is, I took vBlock. I have some services running there. Can someone tell me, please, which of these vBlocks is actually running my financial services or some business critical stuff? Which one of these are actually running, let's say, my email or any other non-business critical application? And can someone tell me, please, which one of these are actually compromised? I can't. And I think on the operations side, there are many customers which cannot tell it either. Your internal network, I love it. You know, I come to your company. You have, I know, physical, you know, security in place, but I will come there as disguised as a cleaner lady, walking a bit like an old lady. I will plug myself into your network. You will give me DHCP address or IP address by DHCP. You will give me all of the tools to be able to start any kind of, you know, malicious activities or any kind of, you know, attacks against your infrastructure. And you are giving me open doors. Len, encrypted traffic, love it. Okay, is this business application, you know, internet surfing, or is somebody now stealing your corporate data? And we don't know. We have no ideas what is actually happening. And to be honest, you know, I think I was here 2-3 years ago to talk about BYOD. And on that date, I also talk about these magical boxes that you put to your network that are, you know, application aware, stone gates, checkpoints. I think that was Fortinet, or even a Cisco next generation firewall. They are not helping you on the security side. They help you to actually maintain some kind of application visibility. But I think the main problem, to me at least, is I think we have now like maybe 3,000 app IDs. And at the same time, iPhones, iOS devices have 1.4 million applications. Who is good on math? Who will tell me how many percentage of application 3,000 is from 1,400, 1.4 million? Not too much. I think some promilles. And that's my security principles. The second one is they are always signature-based. Applications are moving, they are changing, they are updated. I don't see application visibility on the firewall as a security tool, as many of my customers, my colleagues are actually seeing. And that's why I'm telling, this is actually, I've been stealing this from my own presentation about IT infrastructures. And why I'm telling you that your security principle as of today is security through obscurity. Obscurity means, in my world, I don't know, I don't see, I don't have visibility, but it's so complex that even the attacker does not have any clue what is actually happening on my network and on my application side. So what's the problem? I have different kind of security places and security tools. So I might have web security appliances. I might have Palo Alto firewalls. I might have something on my core devices, virtualized firewalls on my data center. On the remote offices, I have some kind of security measurement in place. But actually, I don't know what is happening on my network. And does someone see that as a problem, as a security principle? If you don't know what is actually now happening on your network, what is connected to your network, what is your security principle? It's a security through obscurity. And I love it. I have a lot of nice tools. I can add up, security tools. On top of this heterogeneous network architecture, I can have some tabs of doing, traffic monitoring on my data center or some of my points of interest in the network. I have different kind of CMs doing different kind of log gathering and some analytics based on the information that I'm gathering. I have network access control. We have network access control. Many others have also solution on the network access control side. I have vulnerability management tools in place. I have instructions and infrastructure and mobility solutions in place. Custom detection. I love the Sophos presentation today. Visualization. I have so many tools, but still I don't understand what's actually happening on my network. I don't have visibility. And the truth is, I have so many tools available, but it doesn't fix the underlying problem that I don't have an architecture that would be supporting these new needs and new requirements on my network. And to be honest, the results are truly cream. As we know, every vendor has been actually talking about these different kind of large penetration to Google or Target or any other organization. And these are, security-oriented organizations. These have these in place, but still they've been compromised. We did do some, security report. So this is Cisco information, Cisco security report 2014. You can download it from cisco.com if you are able to find it from there. I have a luckily direct link, so I was able to find it. But to be honest, we've been monitoring a lot of enterprise network, and we are seeing 100% of them are actually sending malware traffic out from internal network to outside world. That's a lot of malware traffic. Verizon is saying that 66% of attacks detection took months or even years. This is Mandiant, which is now part of FireEye, is saying that the largest APT theft, they stole 6.5 terabytes of company data. 20 years ago, to steal 6.5 terabytes of paper, I think it would have taken like 1,000 trucks that you need to bring to the organization. You need to fill it up with those cradles and steal the information. But as of today, we have fast internet connections, and all of our data, all of our business critical stuff is not anymore in papers, it's in ones and zeros. And the most concerning, and this is not from Cisco again, this is from Verizon, from the time to discover that we've been compromised has not been improving for the last 10 years. And we have so many great security tools in place. What might be the reason? Of course, we have more and more different devices which are actually connected to the network. And that's the true problem. Think about when operation technology, so that means all of the sensors, all of the operations are actually starting to discuss IP. We have huge problems. We don't manage the endpoints anymore the same way that we've been doing it until today. The BYOD that I'm bringing my iPad or ePod or anything like that to company network, that's a small problem, because tomorrow you will have 10,000, 100,000 or millions of different kind of sensors which are part of your operations teams, and they are actually managing those. Or someone, external party is actually managing those sensors that have been put into your network. And of course, there's more and more connected networks. So it's not that I have only my connections. It's not that I have only my networks. I have so many vendors that I'm actually connecting. I have partners, I have customers which I'm connecting. So that means I have a lot of more attack surface. I have much more attack vectors actually available. And these are good excuses. But I think the biggest problem is it's way too complex. How many of you actually understand what is going on within your own network now? Normally I have at least one brave person of raising their hands. And from the security perspective, I think that's the biggest problem that we have. It's not about the tools. It's not about APTs. It's not about all of the bad stuff that might be coming to your network. It's about we have that complex architecture in place that even we do not understand it, how we can secure it. This is my second slide that I'm actually showing on each and every presentation this year, even if I'm talking about software-defined networking or data centers or switches or anything. This is your IT infrastructure. You have maybe more and more horses, but still you have a manual labor, a guy who's actually plowing the ground. And at the end, the birds or seagulls or anything else is coming and stealing all of your crops. And that's how IT is working now. So we've been enabling a lot of businesses to automate, to be able to actually be more productive. But at the same time, the whole IT infrastructure as of today is mostly based on manual labor. This is what we are doing. We are like 1901. And most of the businesses are actually 2014 or something like that. And this is a huge problem from operation, from the architectures, from the automation perspective. This is the work that we are actually doing. Juha was showing, this is one of my two corporate slides. Cisco security, directions, visibility driven. What more visibility you can have to your network, what more understanding you can have it, the better, because that's how you can be able to react on those breaches. Threat focused, they can be advanced, they can be non-advanced, but anything. So it's not about that I'm concentrating on actually supporting and layer 4 firewalls or applications. It's about those security threats. And then the platform focused. I'm not fully buying on that one, but that's just me. Three things. The first one is visibility. This is the first thing that you want to have as part of your security architecture. And I'm showing why. This is your network. Network sees connected devices, it sees connected network, it sees all of the services. And I think that's one of the benefits of having actually network, is actually that I can use this network as a sensor. And I don't need to have too complicated stuff. I can use NetFlow. NetFlow is an easy way of actually getting a visibility to your network. Who is talking to which one, to what direction. But the idea is I can collect the information from the whole network. So this is not like a one point in the network. This is the network which is operating as a sensor on your future security architecture. Because endpoints, services, all of those are actually connected to the network. If I have a PC and it leaves the network, it doesn't use any services, what's the problem, in a way? If I have services which being compromised, I should be seeing because something is changing, something is using those services from different countries, different continents, different directions. So that gives me a quite good understanding what's actually going on within my network. Scalability, 1 gig, 10 gig, 40 gig. You don't need to try to run all of your traffic through one magical box. The idea, you have the network that is offering already the connectivity services to all of those devices, to all of those services which you are actually utilizing as of today. It's always on, and it gives you rather nicely a context. What is connected where, who is talking to who, and all that stuff. What kind of devices I might be using. So I can track malware traffic. It gives me an understanding, if I have malware on my network, what's been the attack surface, how many endpoints, how many other services are actually affected, and it gives me a rather nice way of doing remediation. So I can say that do something, change the security policies, because I have seen this kind of behavior. I don't need to go to the firewall. I don't need to go to each and every switches, routers on my network, but I can have something which is centrally defined, one common policy, which is being defined when I'm seeing, lawful, let's say, a malware traffic, for example. I'm seeing a suspicious traffic generated from the endpoint. Second thing what I like to talk is breach awareness as part of your security architecture. So why? Discover, contain, remediate, restore. I think these are basic principles that everybody of us is actually knowing. And this is, again, not from our presentation. This is from our friends. But this is the time that it took from initial compromise to start exfiltration of data. It was seconds or the minutes. And that's quite fast. The sad part is actually that we are able to see that, start remediation, start any actions. It takes days, weeks, or months. And I think that's a long time. And to me, I have never understood. I'm a firm believer on application security, application level security tools, as also the networking part. But I have never understood that when you have an endpoint, a PC, or anything like that that's infected, the only thing that you are actually doing to that one is you are wiping it and you are restoring the operating system. Don't you want to know, okay, what was actually first patient? When did the infection happen? Where did this infection happen? What systems, other systems might be compromised? What are affected to that, malware? Or what else, what other systems are actually perhaps compromised? And most of my customers are saying, no, it's another group of people which are actually handling those endpoint devices, and we just want to get back to the business and operate. And we don't have any visibility. We don't have any understanding what's been actually happening. And automation, as I said, you actually be able to recognize something, you want to automate some of your, functions. You might not get full automation, but if you are getting 10% of automation, 30% of automation, 50% of the automation, that's great benefits. I have a global enterprise customer. They have 6.5 million lines of firewall entries on their internet firewalls. That is 36,000 objects. And there's 10 people which are actually maintaining that internet firewall rule set. And they are trying to explain to me how they understand what they are actually doing and how those firewall rules are built up. I cannot understand anything which is above 100 lines or 200 lines. How can you understand 6.5 million lines, 36,000 objects? How many rules you have in your firewalls? 100, 1,000, 10,000. Do you understand what you are actually allowing and what you are disallowing? So, network as a sensor. We did go through this. We detect some kind of anomaly. How we collect that information, it can be through next generation threat-centric firewalls. It can be NetFlow. It can be anything that we are actually using. That's a small topic. But what we are actually doing is we can do the whole network layer policy change from one centralized location. And this can be something which is automated. We can do basic, common network-dependent type of rules like VLAN changes, dynamic ACLs, but there's a great stuff that you want to read someday. It's not now my topic. It's called security group tagging. That's a security definition that does not have anything to do with the actual network layer. Think about the benefits of having that kind of policy. It's not about the IP addresses. It's not about the VLANs. It's a definition what I can do on the whole network. And it's not a big deal on IPv4. I think everybody in this room understands how the IPv4 security rules are actually set up. I'm having problems with IPv6. I can have so many different ways of getting addresses. Can I build my policies based on the network layer? I would say no. That's why you need to have something which is actually abstracting the network layer away from your security policies. And once again, you're coming through the VPN, you're coming through the wireless network, you are moving to another location. Always you will have the same security policy. Okay, I'm changing the policy. That means that the traffic is now, or let's say the policy is applied not just on the firewalls, not just on the switches, not just on the wireless LAN controller, but the whole networking infrastructure. And that's the power of having a network as a sensor and centralized policy engine. What happens, depending now my access policy, what I'm actually allowing, I can put that traffic to route through the honeypots. I can, remediate it. I can, say that the only thing that this client is able to do is getting a warning on their screen, which is basically saying that please contact the IT support, and nothing more, depending what you are actually defining on your security policies. And as I said, I'm not worried. You guys know how to handle these. The thing that I'm concerned is actually all of these other devices. And these are the true problem. This is the true security, game changer. I'm saying that we have lost the control of the endpoints. And when I'm saying that one, I'm saying tomorrow, when you don't have only, let's say, 1,000 PCs on your network, but you will have 10,000 sensors, 50,000 sensors, you cannot manage them the same way that you are managing your endpoints as of today. And the worst part is most of those are maybe then managed by some other group of people, some other organizations. How you will provide them a secure network connectivity. That's the true problem that you should be starting to think. And I'm saying what more devices we will be having connected to the network, the automation is the only way that we can actually achieve sufficient security. Because all the time, what more devices I will have, more security requirements I will have on my environment. This is a second corporate slide that I'm actually trying to present. What I have here, and I think Juha was showing this one also, we have Cisco tools in place. We have networks, we have visibility, we have infrastructure. We have Cisco Identity Service Engine, which is actually doing the centralized policies, which is doing all of the things. We have the TrustSec, which is doing the security group tagging and context-aware segmentation. But there's a cool stuff. Platform Exchange Grid. Because all of the time when I'm discussing with customers, they are saying, Janne, great story. But believe it or not, that there are some other vendors in the market. We use some other security tools that Cisco does not provide. What are you going to actually do? And what we have done now, we have created a platform exchange grid, which allows third-party sharing. So it's not just that we are getting information from the third party, let's say firewalls, CM systems, or any other tools. We can actually send information through the PX grid to those devices also. So that should be making it a bit easier to actually having a true architecture that you have all of your different components at least talking to some common language that you can then use to push down those security policies across your network. The second one is security group tag. We have made an initiative to become a standard, as we have seen some other Cisco innovations like spanning trees and VRRPs and many other things. We are trying to push that the security group tagging would be possibly supported across all of the vendors. And as of today, just as I said, gives us another nice way of actually managing one common security policy that is actually then deployed to all of our security devices, but at the same time throughout all of our networking equipment. So that means that my Nexus 5K, Nexus 7Ks, ASRs, ISRs, all of these devices can actually use the same security policy. They can consume the same information. And that's the power of the network. And it's not just the PowerPoint presentations. It's good stuff. It's so easy always build up architectures, new security stuff. We can showcase this one. We have demos. We have environments that we are actually providing these type of services. So if you are interested in, we have built up, maybe not to this extension, environment with Santa Monica networks, but we have also our internal center in Espoo, and we can come to your network. We can showcase how these different tools, how these different devices are actually able to maintain the same security policy without any IP address, without any network type of requirements. This is traditional security. We see something on a point of time. It's cufflinks, cigarette case, anything. But I think it would be time to see us a bit more, and not just those points in time, points in network, points in traffic flow. I think I have 3 minutes left. So any questions, comments? I hope not, because it's always hard to answer. I have one question.
Are there any actual implementations with customers that are using that SG tag?
Yes, I have. So I have security group tags deployed on data centers. I have them on campus networks, and I have them on firewalls.
Where is the nearest, closest customer?
In Finland. So I've been working mainly with Finnish customers and Finnish enterprise customers. So not too far away.
Okay. Any names, or is it secret?
So I think the biggest name that we have is the National Social Security Insurance Company, Kela, in Finland. They've been actually deploying the next generation networks as part of their operations. We've been actually presenting it at Cisco Live. It's a network with 15,000 endpoints, and all of policies are actually applied centrally. So you take any device, you connect to anywhere in the network, it's getting the right policy. All of the access switches have exact the same configuration, no dependencies or differences there. And you take your device, you connect it, and it's getting the policy that we've been defining centrally. Good stuff. My apologies on our sales guys. I think internal communication sucks sometimes. So, any other questions, comments? Remember, I'm getting all of those papers, and if you wrote down 4, 3, or something like that, I will hunt down you. Anyway, thank you. I'll be here. Cisco will be here. So any questions, comments, please approach us, and we will be happy to help. Thank you.